to make the division its own video, so that way you didn't have like a 16-minute video, and that the videos just looked a little bit shorter or maybe not as daunting. All right, but for this example 3, the problem that we're going to do first is 6,250 divided by 25. All right, so the first thing that you will do is you are going to, maybe some refer to putting your number in the house. So we're going to put our 6,250, and we're dividing by 25, so that number goes out front. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to go down our line and see when 25 goes into this number. So does 25 go into 6? No. So if it doesn't go into it, we're going to move to the next digit. We don't need to put a 0 here because 0,5 is equal to 5, so we don't need to write that 0 out front. But if there's ever another time that it doesn't go into it, you do need to make sure you're writing that 0. All right, well, 25, does it go into 62? Yes, it goes into it 2 times. All right, so 20, and then what we do now is we do 25 times 2, which is 50, and we're going to write that 50 here, and then we subtract. Whoops, I wrote plus, and then we subtract. Well, 6 minus 2 minus 0 is 2, 6 minus 5 is 1, and then we bring these two numbers down, so it's 1, 2, 5, 0. Right, and now once again we keep going through and saying, all right, well, does 25 go into the next digit that we brought down, which is 125? And yes, 25 goes into that 5 times. Well, 25 times 5 is equal to 125, so it's actually going to go into it as a whole number. So 125, we subtract. Well, this gives me 0, 0, 0. We bring down this 0. And now when we do this, if there was that digit left over, that 0, we need to make sure that we add that in at the end. All right, so the answer, and there's no more digits beyond this, so there's nothing else that we need to do. So 6,250 divided by 25 is 250. And how do you think you can check your work if you want to see if you did this correct? We just got done doing multiplication, and we know division and multiplication are inverse operations, so we can go ahead and multiply these if you had time and if you wanted to check to make sure that you did just get that answer correct. So at any time you get these questions on your test, there's really no reason for you to know if you got it, that there's not a reason for you to know if you got it right or wrong, because you have the capability of multiplying and dividing to check your work. All right, now this next example, 9,815 divided by 65. So 9,815 is being divided by 65. So just like before, well, 65 doesn't go into 9, so we'll look at the next digit. And 65 does go into 98 one time. So we'll do 65 times 1 at 65. And then we write that underneath the 98 and we're subtracting. So 8 minus 5 is 3 and 9 minus 6 is 3. All right, the last video I did show you, I brought down both the numbers at once. You can do it one by one if you'd want to as well. So I can just bring down this 1 if I want to. And then I can say, okay, does 65 go into 331? 331. Well, start thinking about this. Think about multiples of 60, right? Because we know that 6 times 3 is 180. So that's going to be, and you can even think about it in just the terms of your 6, not even your 60. So 6 times what gives me really close to 33? Well, that should jump out at you, and you should know that that is 5. So then you should test, well, what is 65 times 5? Well, 60 times 5 is 300. 5 times 5 is 25. So then this will give me 325. So that does go into it, right? If you're not sure, sometimes you will just have to go through and write out your multiples of 65 until you get to the number that you know goes beyond that 331. Because it's not just any number that goes beyond it. It's the closest factor to it, right? So then this times 5. So 65 times 5 is 325, so I can write that underneath. And now I will subtract. Well, I need to carry this one over, so this gives me 6. I'm sorry, this should have been a 2, not a 1. And 2 minus 2 is 0, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so we just had that 6. We bring down that 5 now, and how many times does 65 go into 65? That is 1 time. So 9,815 divided by 65 is 151. All right, that is it for this video. This one is really short, but I didn't want to put it on to the other one and make it that much longer.